Alrighty, what is going on today, guys? Evan Aldo here. Been a minute since we put on 528 hertz. Good frequency is important. If you believe in that type of thing, I think there's definitely science behind it too nowadays. So yeah, let's look at what's going on. Shout out to Johnny M in the chat. Hope you guys are doing well, and a really fun day. We're seeing, you're obviously seeing Ethereum do pretty well, and it's continuing to kind of outperform Bitcoin, which we wanted. I think that if there, as we've talked about a lot on this channel, if there is a sign that ETH will start to outperform Bitcoin, it doesn't get much more powerful than what we're seeing right now. You get the nice reverse head and shoulders, trigger wave right there, trying to jump up farther, money flow, everything looks pretty good overall. I mean, it's hard to, even the 3 week, this is very textbook, you're probably there. You even confirm the monthly deep wave, you're probably bottomed out against Bitcoin. And if you've been watching my streams a while, this probably sounds repetitive, but it's important to realize, and this is really good for ERC20 in general. Generally, I think in this type of scenario, you would see an ETH dominant market for, a few months, maybe for a quarter, like quarter 3 or something. And then you would see in quarter 4 the actual altcoin season. I think that would be and things that get crazy, guys. Just remember, you could be holding something in the red for 3 years, 4 years or something. And then and then 3 weeks, it could just come back and be in the green. You know what I mean? You could see a lot of that happen from October onward. So yeah. Oh, you don't see the video? Oh, jeez. I think we're working okay, man. I think we're all right. Let me just double check on YouTube here. I don't think we've cut out or anything. No, it looks fine. We're all right. So we're good. But what's up, John? So yeah, and both Johns. I think it's you, Wonderbar. So yeah, everything, generally, Bitcoin dominance is the big question here. The real question is, does it keep going down? I don't know. It's tough to say. I kind of would lean more the bearish case, but obviously, you got kind of the situation where it may, continue forward on some of these time frames. Hard to say, man. Since the inception of the ETH ETF, you're now up from the low, you're up about 88%. So a slightly higher high than your May high. And from there, you're now down 30%. So if you got really railed on this, I mean, you're only down 30%, which for crypto is nothing that bad. And then, kind of reverse that into a sweep. A lot of stuff looking like it wants to keep going. S&P 500. A couple places that you may end up by the end of the year. 600, I think, is a pretty good bet. I mean, if we look at just an average, where did you start in January? On just an average, kind of return 8%. I would say 600 would be probably your low end, and then your higher end would be, we're just looking at basic statistic. Basic high end would be 15. So 8 to 15% by the end of the year would be likely where you would top out for this. And then you'd probably see some type of pullback in 2026 or whatnot. But, I mean, as a thing to move into, I know Alex Becker talked about last time, he moved a lot of stuff into early 22 into S&P 500, and he preserved a lot of his capital. Still lost a good amount of buying power. And if you factor inflation, even a worse damn, correction. But you know what I mean? So yeah, and always appreciate you guys smashing the like button. So yeah. And yeah, I mean, ultimately, that's what we're kind of looking at there. When you look at, I mean, I just want to see, if we look at CoinGecko, just what's made the moves, what's been moving, in the last 24 hours. Let's just see. Uniswap, ERC20, Aave, I believe, is Aave? No, it's its own thing. ARB, its own. Okay. Chainlink. So yeah, let's look at Uniswap. That made some moves. And I got the new Bitcoin long in. I think I was on the stream with that yesterday. Still is on the stream. Doing really well. I think we're going to get there. You're getting there. You're getting there. That 115, that 120 we've talked about, you're getting there. You got 20 days until the end of the month. It may be last 4th of July, I think we dumped. We had a dump last 4th of July. But yeah. But since then, it could be a dump again this year. For July, I have a feeling may not be the best month, but we'll see. Trying to jump up here on CRO, you know, there's that potential. Uniswap looks pretty good. I like Uniswap. Aave is another one, you know. Why am I blanking? Is Aave ERC20? Isn't it its own chain? I forget. I mean, obviously TRX is one of the best chain for like payments. Generally, that's what everybody uses for the payments. Some of the lowest fees. I don't know if it's technically the lowest fee, but some of the lowest ones. So, yeah. And this is looking pretty good. Yeah, I mean, you're not that far off of your all-time highs here, which is damn good. I mean, Aave, okay, 53%, we'll take it. I got a small position in Aave, nothing too significant though, but yeah. Will it crash? Will Bitcoin crash? I don't think we're going to crash yet. To answer that question, I don't think we're going to crash anytime soon. So that was Aave. The funny coins I was looking up. I wanted to look at Atom, which I don't think has done much. Yeah, it hasn't done too much, but maybe a jump here for a lot of these. It's really ERC20 season, in my opinion. Chainlink trying to get that jump up. Been in the link long for a while, getting eaten alive by fees, but I think it'll eventually jump. Just very slow, very sideways, and that's just, you know, how it is right now, unfortunately. So that was Chainlink. Let's see what else there is to. Well, let's look at some of the ETH pairs here. I think this is significant to look at. So, yeah, I mean, they're down kind of on ETH as the ETH jumps up. So, yeah, you're seeing a very ETH dominant market. Like, this is ETH, you know, ETH time. And if you look at, you know, ETH versus others, well, there's two things I want to look at here. ETH versus others, yeah. Continuing that jump. You know, when does, I mean, maybe this will roll over, who knows, but I think ETH may have a bit more of a jump against others there. And so, yeah. And then if we look at ETH versus, really, let's look at ETH versus total 3 minus Tether. So ETH versus alts, essentially. There you go. Similar thing. That jump. Now, when does that kind of end? And you had your kind of, so if we're looking at that potential, you're looking at like a high wave there. Oh man, it could work on the monthly. Yeah, it could be a while. Damn, it may be very ETH dominant here. This looks damn good for ETH. Probably not as much as that, but yeah, these high waves. And I mean, when would you see that? Maybe November, October, and then you get altcoin season at the very end of the year. I don't know. Jupiter and Sui. Sui looks pretty good. I do like how Sui looks. Jupiter, let's take a look. I haven't looked at that in a while. You know, just trying to think where I even wanna. I think Jupiter would be a riskier bet, but bubble pop pattern maybe will continue forward. I'd be a little bit more safer with Sui. I wanted to look at AVAX as well. AVAX is a good one to look at. So yeah, just thinking here. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, that jump up. That's oh, I got more stuff on the Binance. Yeah, I think it's gonna jump up. It just needs a little bit more time here. It's just that it's not that chain yet. You know what I mean? Like everything versus ETH is probably, yeah, not in the strongest position versus ETH. So, and lowering that, so you're just not there versus ETH. I wanted to look at, oops. Yeah, down a bit. Let's look at Metique, and let's look at the depressing chart, I guess. It's getting delisted. I got to look at the new one. Yeah, let's look at the optimistic chart that doesn't show the, you know, it's kind of just, okay, we started at 37 cents, but no, I mean, it looks good. You got a technical target. You got one technical target all the way up at 42 cents. You know, your 4-day looks good. Everything looks pretty good here. So, you know, 2-day. So you should be able to keep going. This looks kind of similar to a Trump token, maybe even better. So, yeah. Matic looks pretty good. Let's look at Algo. Algorand. Let's see here. Yeah, I mean, you're trying to jump up. I mean, yeah, Algo could keep going. Absolutely. I like how Algo looks. Yeah, I think you're going to get to that 3,000. It could take, up to the end of the month, but I think you're going to get there. I think this is a pretty good setup on Algorand. I mean, I think the best thing to be trying to trade is ETH or ERC20 tokens right now. I want to look at TRX. I'm still not long. It hasn't done much, though, unfortunately. Well, no, it has. It has. Shout out to Nightshade. He was talking. He was the one who told me about this little trigger wave, and I took the trade. I mean, it took its time, but no, you're still up. You're up a lot. A lot of utility here. Very cheap fees. I mean, CryptoFace has talked about this. It's good. Got that volatility, though. No doubt about that. But, man. Let's see there. And where could TRA probably at least double to triple by end of year, maybe? Double to triple, I'd say. What's the market cap on that? It doesn't even say, but it's one of the biggest coins, obviously. Let's see. TRX Tron token. Nah, yeah, it's a top 10 crypto. Yeah, I could see it. Yeah, I could see it doubling, double to triple. End of year. For a lot of these, you probably would see that. I mean, the Dogecoin, all that. Yeah. AVAX is still, like, I mean, even some of the ones, I mean, they're still depressors, but they're high up in the ranking. Even Polkadot, like, I mean, that's probably done nothing, but let's see. Yeah, I mean, just very lackluster, but trying to do something here. I mean, just, it's a very, this is just like buy when you hit these points and sell when you get up to like 9 cents. Just, you know what I mean? But it's looking better. It is looking better. Now, is this a complete relic? Is it going to just, keep going down? I don't know, but something. But I mean, against ETH, probably not much will happen here. You could bounce though, but yeah. But I mean, yeah, I don't think you'll see. I'm not sure if you'll see a true alt. So I mean, they're scheduled to cut rates in September. That could be similar to what happened last year, where we see the end of the year kind of blow off. That would not be surprising. You would see a lot of alts probably do a double to triple during that time, that last 3 months. So let's say CRO is at, for example, I don't know, maybe you're at 16 cents by then. Maybe you're at 20 cents. Double to triple, 40, that's kind of close to your old all-time highs. There's some potentials there. So yeah, that's what I would guess. But in an ETH, maybe, if you can see ETH at, let's say, I mean, this is assuming that it turns bullish cutting rates. It may not. That could mark the end of everything in October or something. So just keep that in mind. But let's say you see ETH at, a slight new all-time high in September, like right around all-time highs, that would be the case to bring it back up to 7,400, maybe 8,000, those big places. It's a good payday. I'll tell you that much. Maybe just make a video on how to sell, convert to USD. Well, I mean, that's kind of, selling. Kraken is decent for that. I never had to. I mean, Crypto.com, you get 10,000 of free trading a month, but big amounts, yeah, I get what you're saying. Just converting to USDT, your big, Chinese exchange, your big Asian exchanges usually are not bad. If you're just trying to get into USDT, is fine for that. But to get it to USD, you're going to have to go to a Kraken or a Coinbase or Crypto.com, if you're in America. So, yeah. But you could do it. I mean, I've been using Kraken lately, which has been not bad. Like the Kraken Pro, the fees aren't too bad. That may be the best one for whales. So yeah. Let's see here. Well, what are my nine indicators, Calcom? Let's see. What are my 9 indicators? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see, 4 here. And then, I mean, Market Cipher is combined, and then Heikin-Ashi's deconsider at 4, and then Fibonacci, spider line at 5, 6, and then 7. I would say 7, although this is a lot of these dots are kind of this. I would say 7. I don't know about 9, but yeah. Trigger wave right there, trying to continue forward. I mean, you should be able to get up to that 116, you know, mid-June maybe even, and then 120 by end of month, you know. And then we hope that, obviously, ETH, you know, performs it, which it should. Which it really should here. What is, I'm just curious, what's the Trump, what's the Trump NFT worth right now? I'm gonna guess still at probably 100. They're pretty bad, I think, because Matic has just been terrible. But as soon as that kind of comes up, this isn't loading. That's okay. But yeah. 108. There you go. Yeah, okay, you could do it, yeah, Chaos, you could do it like that, but you also gotta, if you're trying to put it into a US bank account or something, you know, you gotta convert the USDT to dollars on like a Kraken or some other exchange, so, and you could also convert the Bitcoin or whatever the hell you have, if you're ETH, you know, whatever the hell you have to, you know, dollars there too. So yeah, these are low. Virtuals, let's take a look. Trigger wave, yeah, no, this looks pretty good here. No, I think you can get up somewhere between your old all-time high and all the way up to 13 could be possible. Probably one of these areas. I would guess into end of year 6 to 8, maybe 6 to 9, something like that. Maybe more. Cardano, let's take a look. Yeah, big area. I think that blood diamond is a complete, yeah, that's a complete facade. That's nothing to really worry about, I don't think. It should come up. It should hold these levels and jump back up to these highs, I would think. You know, maybe this month, maybe, yeah. And then hopefully back up to those areas. I mean, you're looking for a new all-time high. You're asking kind of a lot, but 200%, I think, you know, if you can just break above there, then you're looking at maybe even $5, but that would be a lot of movement for this. It's been kind of, you know, a little choppy since December, if you know what I mean. A little bit, you know, a little bit, not that great, 50% down, but we'll see. We shall see. Curious about Cardano ETH. That's probably starting to turn around a little bit in terms of, yeah, I mean, ETH is probably going to outperform a lot of these. I mean, obviously, as you guys know, Bitcoin, you know, others bled against Bitcoin for a while. Still is. Oh, now you're back up. That's a weird freaking, yeah, this is a weird, because now you're back up. Now you're above that. The important place to hold would be that area. So now you're kind of getting more bullish there. It's interesting. I don't know. I don't know what to make of this. Like, you know, you almost get into the place where you're just like, you know, it's all over for alts, and then you're just like, as I come back. I mean, the next monthly should give you a little something. Very delayed in the 4-year cycle here. Very delayed. You know, you wanted it to be, you know, you wanted that February to give us what we need, and we're already in freaking June. So, I mean, it's 4 months delayed, so not too good. But, you know, like I mentioned, ETH is what we want here. ETH is looking like it may give us something good. Now, let's look at Caspa. That's one that's, you know, in recent months been a laggard. I mean, you came up for a long time, so only natural that. I mean, I don't know. I think the ERC20 tokens and ETH will do better in this for now. I think it can hold that low and keep generally going though, but it looks a little bit concerning. Ew, can't even, okay. So I just want to see how this looks against ETH. Yeah, maybe it'll jump against ETH here. I don't know. I feel like ETH could outperform it some more. I want to look at ETH Sol as well. What? That's weird. Can't even. I thought. Oh, Sol ETH. I want to, okay. I'm doing the opposite of the way you should, but that almost looks like it wants to bleed more, but we'll see. See how it reacts to that level. New Zealand versus Canadian dollar. Short-term targets for ETH. Oh man, right at 29.45 or 29.40, 29.45, I would say. After that, you're looking at 32, just under 32. And that's a pretty, I mean, what is that if we can get up to 32, 15%? So, yeah. I mean, if you got, I don't know, 10 grand worth of ETH, you got 11 grand. So, yeah, if you got 100 grand worth of ETH, 115. Yeah. That jump there. Just thinking here. Yeah, you got. I mean, I don't know what the point of looking at this is, but yeah, this could jump up a little bit. New Zealand dollar doing better than Canadian dollar. I mean, let's look at. There's been some beef between Canada and the U.S. lately, yeah, because it didn't work out too well. They elected the most liberal person possible as the next prime minister. So, but yeah. Yeah, I mean, it definitely could reject in the short term, but I'm not seeing anything too bad. The 2 hour still looks good. Yeah, compared to Bitcoin, it still looks pretty good. So yeah, I mean, no, it definitely double top potential, but no, I think you're gonna keep going. You broke out a little bit. You know what I mean? You broke out a little bit. So yeah, 2900 there. That's a bullish formation, looking really good in that 2 day. I mean, really, what you would you would say at least you would probably do something like this. I would assume. Well, you could I guess you could make the case that 3000 it tops out, but something of this, like where would we see this? End of the month, early July, something like that, and then you got your kind of summer lull, which is usually probably a 20% correction, probably maybe back to where we were, and then you continue forward. Now, can you go up to 4,000? Can you just break above this and go up to 4,000? Now, I think the quicker we get up to 3,200, the more likely it becomes you can get up to 4,000. The slower it takes, the more likely it would be that you reject from 3,200. Obviously, is that 100%? No, anything could happen. But from what my experience in this and what I generally observe, the fast you can get there, the fast you can get up to 4,000 after, and have a lot of that recovery. Everybody's gonna be so excited. You would get a lot of people back. For a full-fledged altcoin season, yeah. For a full-fledged altcoin season, I don't know if 3,200 is enough, but I mean, for an ETH season, let's just focus on ETH season. SWE hidden. I mean, where would SWE end up? No, I don't think it's going that high by the summer. Maybe end of year, $10 could be a good goal. Maybe I'm wrong though. Maybe I'm being too pessimistic on SWE. There's certain old coins that I've never even bought this one, but certain old coins just come into my head. Yeah, completely destroyed. What was that other? There's just a few old ones I wanted to look at that just come into my mind. I don't think I own this. I had this at one point, but yeah, nothing too much there. What was that other? Ultra or this? Yeah, completely dead kind of, but yeah. Yeah, some of those old gaming ones, yeah, just completely fallen off a damn cliff. Yeah. Ooh. I mean, people were saying these people are kind of calling out these as scams. So I mean, yeah, that's a little bit better, Gala, but I'm not sure if I would be too hopeful there. They rebranded. I forget what Phantom rebranded to, but yeah. What was that other Mocha Joe? Mochaverse. Who who cares? But yeah, I mean, look at these. Traditional markets should continue forward. Yeah. I mean, where could Nvidia go in 10 to year? I don't know if you're gonna get a full 30% jump, but maybe 170 or something. Mm. So yeah. Mm. Just thinking here. Let's see what's up. What are your thoughts on weekly and 30? Are you talking about Bitcoin? I think you're talking about Bitcoin, right? So let's look at that. Weekly bear. This does not look bad at all. At least not yet. I wouldn't have any credence towards this going bearish until you actually get that, and it's probably going to be more like a situation like, maybe that, and then, you know, like this or something, you know what I mean? Or like that into like you'll get that bear div later on, I think. And that would be probably your first potential like real top, maybe August, September. But then I would think you got a good shot at like into October, November getting up to 150. What was the other 3 day you're talking about? Yeah, that could be your bear div into the end of this month, that may bring your summer lull, but no, this looks good right now, man. Let's see. Like I would say really the things, okay, 2 week bear div would be, and you're probably not going to get that until 120. That may be your summer lull situation. 3 week, like in terms of a time frame that may give you an actual top, I feel like August is a little early. Depending on when you get this. Like if you get this in October, that would be that red dot in October, that would be more concerning. But it's I would say probably, man. I mean, it's probably gonna be based on this November to February, 4 months. From June is the 6 month of 4 months. That's October. I would say October. If you get a red dot in the monthly in October, get the hell out. Probably. I'd have to reevaluate, but probably get the hell out. October could be. That would be the earliest as of right now that I see us peaking out. Because especially if the Fed waits to finally cut in October, that may be the place. You know what I mean? That may be the place. So yeah. But we're jumping right now. I mean, up 1800. We're really, that long is doing damn well right now. So, I mean, are we at, where's our, yeah, that was your old all-time high. That's your new all-time high. So we're about to make new all-time highs. And still, social risk is very low. Funding rates, let's look at some funding rates here. Funding rates should still be healthy. It would be very, yeah, they're still healthy generally. Yeah, still healthy. I mean, this could go up to 0.03, 0.02 wins still before you're really signified, but ETH got more too. Yeah, a lot of it really, the easiest way, or like one of the easiest ways, I'm sure people would be like, no, you don't know what you're talking about, but one of the easiest ways would be to kind of track when we may, finally get a significant pullback. Look at where fear and greed is right now, 64. From that area, usually you got about another month. So this was 02 to, yeah, about another month there. Similar thing here, 2 to 3 weeks to a month, you got that 3 to 5 weeks, 2 to 4 weeks, probably at least 2 weeks, that's what you're looking at. What's up, James? Hope you're doing well overseas. I think it was Thailand, right? But yes, appreciate you guys smashing the like button. And Monero's had some movement too. I wanted to look at some of they're not, MEXC token. I think this finally came down, but yeah, that had a nice run up. Yeah, 22, not the best year, but yeah, that had a nice. I mean, what would it be if you? Well, not too. Yeah, you didn't get too much. Was it BGB? BitGet. Man, those names they come up with. Limited English names. But yeah, the top there. Wasn't there a Swiss? Yeah, there was a Swiss board token, right? That probably, I don't know what happened with that, but yeah. I don't even know if that's still a thing, Swissborg. Aave. Oh, ICP. ICP is one of them where, just look at that. I mean, I never was the biggest fan of this, but yeah, because you're still like, I wouldn't even count that area. I would count like this being, down 92. I don't know. Maybe it comes up a bit more. We could look at Filecoin and other depressors. That's a real goddamn depressor. It'll probably jump here though, but we'll see. You can't sleep. Yeah. Well, Thailand is. Yeah. What time is it there? 3 or 4 a.m. or something. Yeah. Thailand is hot. It's the hottest month, right? Or no? Well, you're getting some rain now, so it's probably not that bad. I was there March, April was probably the worst, but yeah. Down in Cancun this time of year, I was there, around Cancun for a month of, May. Yeah, that was hot. Yeah. Okay, MCO. Okay. I don't know if that's the best idea. Hopefully you have risk management. You know where you're going to take profits and where your stop loss is. But wish you luck. Oh, no rain in Thailand. Yeah, interesting. I thought you'd definitely be in the rainy season by now. I was there in September and there was quite a bit of rain, a lot of overcastness, cloudiness. But yeah, I think you're in Bangkok, right? I forget where you are, but yeah. What was I gonna say, man? Didn't ICP get screwed over? Right. The manipulation was. Yeah, I think I heard that, Cows. I heard something along those lines. I don't know if ICP is too much of a future, but we'll see. H bar. Yeah, when you look at it like this, you'll probably get up to that 40 something cents eventually. Find a year, I would hope. I don't know why I want to look at this one, but Maker. It's MKR, that's why. That's on Coinbase, yeah. Yeah, a little better than before. Still a laggard, but yeah. Oh, I want to look. I've never even. That's not. I'm not even gonna say the word, but let's see what's where that's near. Oh, okay. I think I found it. That area. Oh, okay. You're on the other side. Okay. Never been over there. That's a big. Oh, you're probably. I know where you are. Yeah. Okay. I don't know if you want me to say it, but I know where you are probably. Yeah, that's a little bit of that place is you're probably in the northern part of there. I know that place is getting a little bit more popular. That's more calm, that area. It's probably cheap as hell there too, I would imagine. Yeah. You could say it, but I don't know if you want to, but yeah. Good to keep it low key. You don't want every goddamn Westerner to know about these places that we find. How do you get there from Bangkok? Do you take a bus? Could you take a bus there from me? You probably could. It's not that much farther in Pattaya. Yeah. But you're on the way once you kind of get farther down, yeah. Mm. Yeah, no, it is a pretty good area. I mean, that's pretty good too. I don't know if your internet and your infrastructure is your internet good there though? That's a question I would have. Isn't the beaches not too good there? I don't know if I heard. Are the beaches still good? Train, bus, or car? Okay. What did you think of Chiang? Have you been to Chiang Mai? You probably have. I haven't been to Chiang Mai in a while. I've been hearing better and better things about Chiang Mai lately. But yeah, what's up, KJM? Really appreciate you, man. Always appreciate you guys. Smashing the smashing the like button. And let's see what else do we have. Oh, I was gonna show you guys the this promo's still going on. Oh, damn it, not going on. All right, BYDFI. I gotta talk to them. They post the ones in the Discord. The new. Oh no, they updated this. There's a little bit new here. Okay, so deposit. Okay, it's a little worse than it was, but it's a 10% bonus basically. Deposit 20K, get 2,000. It expires June 20th, and you get 10% of your fees for life with my link down below as well. BloFin is pinned in the chat. This expired. I wonder if they're still doing this one. I gotta ask them. Oh, here we go. Here we go. They updated it. Okay. You need a minimum deposit and a trading volume to get the futures bonus. This is not, depends, not the worst, but also not the best kind of thing. 10% cash back though with my link, so still worth it in that sense. So check it out if you guys are interested down below. What strategy do I trade? Yeah, appreciate the likes, guys. Beaches are okay, not this. Yeah, the beaches I've heard over there are not the best, but it's probably cheap as hell because nobody really, the English level there's got to be pretty low too. I've seen it on Reddit forums. To know where you are, you gotta be digging deep. Like people don't normally go there, at least not that many. Like that's more of the really seasoned like traveler crowd or the really like expat crowd, I feel like. But yeah. And we're jumping. Almost getting up to new all-time highs here. Exciting day for the crypto markets. Exciting day. Very exciting day. So yeah. I mean, in terms of Thailand, Bangkok's always going to be good because even if there's a lot of freaking foreigners, it's still such a big city and it's still got everything you want there, you know what I mean? The thing is like a Phuket, a Koh Samui, that's where it's kind of just feeling like a Bali where it's just all, It depends what you want though. I mean, some people want that. I mean, the main thing about Asia that's not good, at least in my opinion, is being on that time zone. It's not as good as being for meetings and everything. It's not as good as being on the U.S. time zone. The Europe time zone is probably a little bit better too. So yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, we've talked about it before. Other places. I mean, Taiwan I liked a lot. Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia I liked a lot. Some less traveled places that are probably even a little bit more developed than the beaches in I haven't been there, so I can't speak of it. But like Malaysia, maybe Penang. Nomad Capitalist just I don't know if he released it yet. He was filming a video in Penang, one of those. He did a video Oman. Probably couldn't even locate Oman on a damn map. That did one of those videos there. Maybe I should check out Oman. Tax is a winner. I mean that's like every big set. I mean Manila's worse. Bangkok. Yeah, it does get annoying, but if you're like able to take the BTS, if you're like in the good part, Sukhumvit or whatever, you're fine. You want to be near those parks, I feel like that's pretty, if you're near whatever the hell that big park, there's just two parks. One starts with an L, one starts with a B. I feel like that's probably generally your best part. Or like if you got one of those high rises with the cool rooftop pools, that's what you want. I stayed out in a nice one of those times. I mean, it's hard to find. You can't really find. I mean, I'm thinking other cities in the world where you could find those high rises with those rooftop pools like that. I mean, everybody's obviously going to say Miami, and okay, Miami, you can find it definitely. Obviously, the price is going to be way more for Miami, and they're not as tall. Some of those buildings in Miami, it's not as there's not as many. New York, you can find that, but it's too cold most of the year. LA doesn't have that. I'm trying to think where else. I mean, is there anywhere in South America? Most of South America would not have that, I don't think. Maybe Brazil, maybe, and like Sampania, but it wouldn't be. Yeah, I'm trying to think where Dubai, okay, you could find that in Dubai. There's not that many places. I mean, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, And Shanghai's probably cold part of the year. And I mean, most of the people don't want to live in China. You got to get a visa for that. Cows. Where in Japan do you like? I'm curious. Like where? Token. I appreciate you, KJM. Really appreciate you, man. Let's see. Taxes. Yeah. Well, you're supposed to pay taxes back to the U.S. if you're still a U.S. citizen, obviously. Pollution is bad in Bangkok. That is true. That's a negative. Not as bad as in Kuala Lumpur. Marble finance. Yeah, I mean Vietnam I've heard is probably the best for the suits. I don't know. I haven't done suits out there, but yeah. Maui, okay. Shanghai. It's better in Taiwan, I think, or Hong Kong. That's what I've heard, or Japan. Japan, I haven't done. I mean, Japan's a little cool in the winter months, obviously. I got to look at more into Japan. Getting a little bit more foreigner friendly and more English speaking there, I've heard, but yeah. Hmm. Tokyo, yeah. I feel like that's where you got to start. But I mean, it's a Western price. It's Western prices there. Like you're not, you know what I mean? Like it's not really. Well, probably the food's cheaper and stuff, and it's cool. But yeah, it would be hot this time of year. I like more of the tropics though. I think I would like Bangkok more. I mean, if you want development and those high rises, it would be Bangkok or Kuala Lumpur. Smaller city, a bit cheaper. Chiang Mai maybe, and the beach towns, obviously. Bali. It all depends what you want, what you're looking for, if you know what I mean. I mean, Marmalade. I don't know what that is. Sounds like yeah, that's not, that's not really, it doesn't come up. Um, yeah, I mean, cows, trying to think usually like what. Yeah, I mean, I feel like as long as you're just not getting belligerently drunk and being extremely annoying, it's not, you know, it's usually not. It's like the stupid drunkenness. That's usually what they don't like, generally, just be kind of respectful. I mean, you kind of realize when you go to a lot of these places too, like Americans are a bit more, Americans like to argue. Like there's a big, not all Americans, but there's a big like Kim Kardashian, persona in America. I mean, that's what it's modeled after. It's kind of modeled the media arguing, there's a lot of that. And I mean, Western Europe's not too much different. Maybe it's a little bit better, but not too much different. Like it's a very different culture, kind of, Um, like it's kind of like kind of what I don't agree with everything Putin has said, obviously, but we've kind of destroyed the unit of the family in the West in a lot of ways, kind of, and that's not been destroyed yet in the eastern part of the world. It kind of has been if you look at the child birth rate in Japan, South Korea, they're getting there. They're definitely getting there, but other parts no. And I mean, I guess that's the negative thing of, there's positives to having money. There's negatives and positives to being more developed and having more money. You don't get. I think it's probably overall better to be in a more developed place with more money and more opportunity. Don't get me wrong, but there are certain negatives that come with everything. There are negatives to being very rich. There are negatives to being very poor. You know, there's billionaires that get killed. There's multi-million. Look at the CEO of United Health. He got shot. You know what I mean? I mean, there's you could argue, I guess, it's the method in which he got rich, what he was doing, which was kind of kind of just cut out. Well, I think we're back. Okay. Sometimes the cable internet cuts out, but yeah, there's negatives. There's negatives to being more developed. In America, there's not much of a unit of a family. I would say a lot of people have lower, well, a lot of men especially, of younger men, very low self-esteem in America. I would say overall, very low self-esteem. More so the opposite towards women, I would say that's kind of the opposite problem. Too high. They are still, insecure in some ways, it depends, but more that kind of low self-esteem. Very boring lives a lot of times. Like, I've talked to this for, a lot of people from Asia, mostly like Singapore, the wealthier Asian countries, people that have lived in America that were originally from Singapore, whatnot. They talk about America's boring, A lot of people, they live pretty boring lives. It's very predictable. And I mean, like Val Ravikant said in Joe Rogan's podcast, that was kind of what originally made him pretty famous, 6-7 years ago or something. And he said, like, the moment someone tells you, what time do you have to wake up, what time do you have to be there, all these type of things, you don't really have as much freedom as you think you have. And I think a lot of people in America kind of fall into that path. And I mean, I was watching, it was just funny, like I was watching, who's that guy on TikTok, like an insane amount of followers, like 16 million followers. Someone's always like, come closer, and he does like the video, and he looks like he's 50 years old, but he's really like 22. No, I'm just kidding. He's probably like my age, and I guess he could pass for like young 40s or something. He doesn't look that old, but he got like famous for making that video saying like it's just stress of Gen Z or whatever. You got to stop watching. Don't watch that crap. Those people, but. Yeah, what was he saying? Oh yeah, you're saying like the average woman in America, like what, they wake up, they don't really eat breakfast, they drink like an iced coffee, probably has sugar with it. They go to their matrix job, they come home, watch Netflix. Like, I mean, it's a damn freaking like. It's not. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it or it's bad or whatever. Maybe it's better to live that way. Who the hell knows? But it seems pretty boring. You know what I mean? It's not. It's kind of a boring life. I mean, maybe the weekends they do some stuff, and then that's where you get into people. It's so hard working over the weekend. Then they just go crazy with drinking on their Friday and Saturday nights. Like, I don't know. It's just not healthy. And that's kind of why. That's kind of why. Why Americans' life expectancy, one of the reasons why American life expectancy is pretty low compared to the rest of the developed world. Temple swimming gear, and you got thrown out. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you want to, like, that's the thing, like, you want to learn, you could Google, basic stuff. I mean, this is kind of common sense stuff, you know what I mean? Most of those temples, they're not going to let you in, you need pants on or whatever a lot of times. You can't even wear shorts, so. I mean, it's kind of like they should have more, you would think they, should charge tourists and have a person watching outside the temple, but, what did we looked at that was doing well? Yeah. ETH is looking great. What's up, Marco? Appreciate your sports betting locks. What do you want me to look at? Is ETH pumping? Oh, okay. Cool. Guess the Fed would save the day anyway. I think you're going to see your typical bear market in 2026, but I don't think you're going to see a recession until probably around 2030. Yeah, maybe 2026, but we'll see. Let's see. Let's see here. Man. Okay, so ETH is pumping. I appreciate you, Marco. ETH is like, yeah, we were talking about ETH. What was